All right, thank you for having me. I'm Mike. I come from the future, but before that, I come from Sovereto, a little hamlet 30 kilometers away from here. It's like 60 families. And I make profitable SaaS products. I, in fact, built dozens of them in the last decade. I did this with lots of free time. In fact, I'm big on paddle. I play around 200 matches per year. In the last 24 hours, I played 3 matches. And I also play jazz at night because I'm a professional jazz musician. I don't know what professional is, but I'm professional. And I did this without a team because I create my products alone. In fact, this is my team, but they are all AIs. And I did this without a computer science degree, for all that matters. This year, I actually enrolled in not 1, not 2, but 3 universities, including the University of Bari, where I'm attending the decision science course, a new course. And my products have been used by Fortune 500 all the way to government. And yeah, I had to put some mini screenshot. This is just one SaaS that's making me an average of $80,000 per year. And if you think, welcome. If you think about the average developers, by the way, how many developers do we have in the audience here by raising hands? Okay, all of them mostly. You typically have 2 routes: employment, so you will go work for the man, or you go work for yourself, or at least you think you do. You go the consulting route. But there is this third way, which is indie hacking, that nobody talks about, and this is what I do. The typical developer, basically what he does, he or she works on something cool because obviously you are a developer, you're working on new technologies all the time. Then proceeds to tell his friends, tell our friends, do no marketing at all, just pray. And then of course, no money comes in, and it just puts the project as public on GitHub, but it rests there for the rest of the life. And nowadays, there is, lots of developers, because even non-technical people are becoming developers, with the help of Cold Code, Codex, and whatnot. And I think, coding is definitely not that, but the barrier to entry is very low right now, and you have lots of crappy products that maybe are crappy, but still hold a position into the market. So the bottleneck is not coding right now. It's not the product, but it's distribution. And what if there was a way for you, for developers, to do no marketing at all, but be successful? And this is one way, is integration marketing, which for me, I describe as, creating a win-win situation with people. Make them an offer they can refuse. No, I'm joking. But historically, you would do this with marketplaces. So let's say you had an e-commerce app, you would go to Shopify, the Shopify App Store, and list there, because of course, Shopify wants to offer more features to their customers, and they want they want to lock in customers into their ecosystems, and you want their customers. So all of your potential customers are there. This is historically what you could do, but I don't like this. This is not my preferred way of doing this, because it's easy to get listed there for everybody, so you end up having lots of competition, and there are unbalanced power dynamics, because obviously the house makes the rules, so it's always on their end. So one way that is better to do this is actually asking yourself, who's influencing my target market? And one way that I prefer to do this, to do integration marketing, is with anyone who has an audience. So podcasters, YouTubers, course creators in general, you name it. Why I like this is because they have already qualified traffic. And the reasoning here is that you unlock MRR, you unlock reoccurring revenue for them. And you do no marketing because, for example, I do this with course creators. They, of course, have students, and they charge a one-time fee, right? I come in, I propose to do a SaaS together, I create the SaaS, and then a percentage of their students will get my SaaS. You know, it's around the double digits, you know, 20, 30% of students, but still no marketing. So it's basically you're creating new money, new revenue for everybody. So it's a win-win situation. And then almost zero competition, because you plant a little flag in there. It's unlikely that another person would go there and make the same offer to the same person, right? So it's also balanced power dynamics, because they are dependent on you and you are dependent on them. So it's fair, I would say. If you decide to do this, just go for the B2B route, because B2C, it's harder to do. You need lots of volume, and price points need to be lower. So I would advise you to go for B2B always. And also, another thing is that you are not paying the abnormous cost of ads. Like, if you try running ads in the US, for example, it's crazy right now, the cost. So with this, you don't pay for ads. You don't pay for traffic, because basically, again, the creator is sending you the subscribers to your SaaS. I did this with course creators. This is Emmanuel. He had a course on tax liens. I don't know what those are, but it's basically real estate investing in the US. And he has a book out. And we created Fastlane, which is a SaaS that helps them, you know, research tax liens. Well, I can disclose number on this one, but we did, and it's still making some good money for us. The other question that you can ask yourself, it is, what does my target market use before and after using my product? So potentially, you could integrate with system integrators. For example, this is another one of my SaaS called Re-Referrals. It's for real estate agents in the US market. And we integrate with products that my target market uses after they use my product, which in this case, they are Real Geeks, Brevity, all basically real estate CRMs. And we also integrate with associations and system integrators. For example, I have another product, another SaaS, where we integrate with franchise. We integrate with a company that serves franchise, which in turn means that if they send one to us, they send also all the franchisees, which means, you know, you do one sale and you get lots of customers in the door. So if you decide to build and do this route, do it alone, do it, you know, bootstrapping. Also, I didn't mention, I don't take any investments. I do it, my products are self-sufficient. They either do money or they die. I delete them. The thing that you need to do is build many of them, because that's the only way that you can basically figure out what's your forte. For me, all my products are around data collection and scraping. For you, it might be something else. But you need to figure out what makes you unique. And also, building many is what every ND hacker that I know, even in the US, they do, because there are so many variables that you need to understand. There's the market, there's the founder fit, right? So the only way is to test. You know, the most famous indie hackers, they build at least 12 products per year. And also, it's a way to go, you know, don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? You diversify as well. So there are other ways that we use to build. You don't need lots of ideas. With one idea, you can create lots of SaaS products. In fact, these are three: subtraction, deduction, induction, if you study philosophy. So for subtraction, basically for developers, they go back to what they know, which is building. So they ended up most likely adding features to a product. So this is the way that it works. You basically take an idea and you add to it, you add branches, leaves, literally branches. Instead, what I do is not addition, but it is subtraction. So I take out features. I take out features that are non-essential to a market, and I put that feature in another market where that feature becomes core. Let me redo this. I take out a feature that is non-essential to that product, and I put it in another market where that feature becomes the core of it. And this is a philosophical concept called rhizome from Félix Guattari and Deleuze, two French philosophers, if you want, dig it up. But this is an example. I had an e-commerce product that did, where the core is tracking Shopify sales. And in this product, I had the ability for users also to track trends. So what I did is I took out the feature of tracking trends and I made it, a standalone SaaS app that now can serve not only merchants, e-commerce merchants, but also can serve investors, can serve SEO people that want to rank for stuff, for trendy stuff, dropshippers who want to sell cool stuff, trendy stuff, and so on. Deduction is instead when you have a general product and then you basically see patterns of people who are signing up, and then you do basically same tech, you just clone your repo, you put another dress to it, and you sell it to a very specific niche. This is another SaaS of mine called Grouply, where we tracked Facebook groups. What we did basically was seeing that, what I did, sorry, sometimes I speak in the plural, but it's only me. Basically, lots of real estate agents were signing up. I noticed that pattern, and I say, okay, let me create one just for real estate agents. And the pros of doing this is that it's the same tech, so you don't spend time on doing, a new project, but you can charge much higher price because it's, tailored for them. At least they feel that. Other things that are working right now in the era of AI that is very simple to do, it's something called programmatic SEO and free tools building. So literally how it works is you go to SEMrush, Ahrefs, these kind of tools that can analyze keywords for you. You choose, as many as you want that have low competition, or you do your algorithm, you choose your criteria, and then you ask, something like Cloud Code to generate free tools around those keywords. Cloud Code can generate that in 5 minutes, whatever, and then it's free traffic for you basically. If you play the long game, it's not something that you see, from day 2 that you do this. Maybe you see it in 6 months, but you see traffic from this. As well as programmatic SEO, which basically is creating pages that are dynamic, the content is dynamically loaded. So it's generated from the DDB or the content of your SaaS product. These are 2 examples for Fastlane. A free tax lien calculator, and we did pages for Fastlane /FL, Fastlane Florida /Delaware all the counties. So you get tons and tons of pages up. Once you have many products working, it's easier. Marketing becomes easier. So you can do co-registration. You can ask your users if they're interested in any other product of yours. And basically, every product becomes the back end and front end of your offer. Because they could, users could get in, from one SaaS, and they could buy something else from you, or they can get in from a newsletter. Also, subscriptions are not the only model of SaaS, although it's the king model. I would say there is other ways that you can monetize. For example, you can grow a newsletter and monetize with subscription. That's sometimes what I do. You can do performance-based models. There are many models that you can use. Thank you.